Hey y'all, Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. So I've taken some of your comments and suggestions under advisement and decided that today I'm going to let you watch me sketch. Woohoo! So much fun. The sketch was going to be short. It turned out to be long. So I'm going to cut it into two pieces and show one today and one tomorrow. Each video is approximately 45 minutes long. I know that's a long time. So feel free to start the video and then jump ahead. It's not going to kill me, hurt my feelings, or anything. So I hope that you enjoy, and I look forward to your feedback. Take it away.
Okay, so several of you have asked about art, and I haven't really done any sketching or painting serious stuff in like 9 months. So I got into something else last year, and then I started the channel in the summer, and I really haven't been doing much else as far as art goes. But what I'm going to do today is a little sketch demonstration. This is not a lesson. This is just me doodling. And this is a supposed shiitake mushroom. I don't think it is, but it's something I printed off, and this is what I'm going to sketch. So let us get started. First off, I want to show you shapes. We've got like a half oval or a half circle up here. And down here, it's pretty much just a rectangle. So what you can do is simply lightly sketch a rectangle. It's a little bit flared at the bottom, just like so. And you'll see where it meets the mushroom cap at the top. And what I'll do is I'll try to superimpose this picture up in one of the corners when I edit this, so you'll be able to see the mushroom that I'm sketching as I'm doing it. Okay, let's see. Where it meets at the top, it is just a slight curve there. Okay? Now, I am taking a little measurement here with my pencil. Shows me that this is the top of the cap. And to the width, from that, I'm going to go here to here, which is roughly right here. And what I'm doing is taking my pencil and I'm measuring roughly where the edges of that mushroom cap are. Now I'm just going to round it. And yes, I know it looks sloppy and there's a lot of excess lines, but you'll see how I will get rid of those in a little bit. I'm not going to just erase everything. Instead, I'm going to use something called a tortillon or a paper blunt. And I'm going to rub, let me see here. I'm going to rub these light lines out of existence. And it kind of goes like that, kind of. And again, this is just eyeing it. This isn't anything exact. Think if this was something I was really trying to make super realistic, I might even use a ruler to get these measurements between here and here and here and here. Let's see, we got a little bit of a lip back there. Gonna come up. Got a little lip down here. Gonna come up. And then we've got this massive thing here, which is actually right there, isn't it? So we're gonna go like that, bring it around, see where that is there. And this, the stem was actually a little bit thicker than what I have. I'm going to go like there, and like this, and then I'm going to take a sip of my ever-present cup of coffee. That is hot. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit more so, like so. Bring this around like so. Come up around like so. Okay, there's that. Now, on the original mushroom, you'll notice there's all these little crumbs. It looks like almost like a coffee cake that someone put on top of the mushroom. This mushroom is generated from MS Copilot, so it's not a real mushroom. It's just based on real mushrooms. The last shiitakes that I bought at a store had much curvier caps. They weren't round like this. Okay, and then we had little flares coming out, didn't we? These are like the little gills inside of the mushroom. Let's see if we can get those in there. Yeah, they went really tight up like that. Okay. Little light there. Bring this around here. Okay, now it doesn't look like much right now, but once we use the tortillon and rub some things out, get some shading in here. Like so. I think the soil in this picture kind of went down like that. Like so. And then they had another, like a mushroom cap right here. Like maybe a mushroom is growing and the stem is buried somehow. I don't think I've ever seen a mushroom with a little mushroom like this. But you'll see that there's dirt all around on the original, around this area. That's been piled up. And you have a leaf coming up here. In fact, this whole thing looks like someone took a mushroom and just put it in the dirt and then put this other stuff around it. But it's not real, so we're not really worried about that. Now we're going to give some shading through here. Okay, now I'm going to grab a tortillon. This is a tortillon. It's simply a piece of super tightly rolled paper with pointed ends. And when the ends get dull, you take it like this on sandpaper and you just sand it to the point that you want. And they come in different shapes, or not shapes, but they come in different sizes down to really tiny ones. The issue I have with the tiny ones, I don't think I have any with me right here that are smaller than this, is that they bend really easy. So I'm not going to do that. I am doing this on my dining room table. That's why there might be a little shake going on. I'm using a tripod that is designed to wear around your neck for phone conversations, and it doesn't work well for that at all. So I'm using it as a tripod for this because I can then bend the flexible cable that it's on to look down on the artwork that I'm actually doing. And I'm going to show this. It was off screen, wasn't I? Let's move it up like that. Okay, now this is the shading I'm talking about. You take your tortillon and you just rub it across like that. And you'll see that it gets rid of all of your actual lines. Well, most of them. And it fades everything into the actual image to give it a more realistic feel and a look. And I'm going to link in the description my Instagram page, which has a lot of this stuff on it. Now, on the Instagram page, I haven't updated it in ages. I think Facebook has been putting these little previews I do for this channel. It might automatically post there. So if you go to my Instagram channel, you're probably going to see a bunch of little 30-second to 1-minute videos introducing whatever the subject of the Cranky Old Gay Guy show is going to be talking about that day. Just scroll past those. The art will be, since it was posted a long time ago, it's going to be down further. And you're going to see some of my acrylic paintings, as well as I did a study in self-portraiture. And I did that for 1 year. Every Sunday morning, I did a self-portrait of myself. After a while, it got boring, so I started changing myself into animals and inanimate objects in these self-portraits. And they were all done on canvas. I thought about, copying them all and putting them in some kind of a book. But when I tried to scan them or photograph them, because they're done on canvas, whenever I do that, it comes back with a bunch of specks all over it. So it looks super grainy and you just can't get a good clear shot of it. And last year, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, I did 5 portraits of Black historical figures for Black History Month. And I think those turned out really well, especially the Billie Holiday and the Nina Simone. Let me know what you think if you go to Instagram and look at those. Let's get some of this out. That's a little like that. A little like that. Let's give you some shade to create a more round shape here, so you'll get the feeling that we're actually looking at something with some depth. It's not just a two-dimensional object. And you don't want to push your Tortillon too far into the page or it'll cause streaks. And even with an eraser, you can't really get those streaks out. You have to then design a picture around it if you're trying to save the picture itself. And as you will notice, this is nothing super special about what I'm doing. This is not a fine art. This is just a rough sketch. I chose the mushroom because I thought it would be quick. When you go on the Instagram page, I did one of based on a picture I took of someone at the river. And it's a 3-part video. Each video I think is 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. And I've sped it up so you can see the results. It looks much better if you watch them in order. They're labeled 1, 2, and 3. Instagram kind of mixed up the order. So if you were just scrolling and watching them, you'd say, well, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. So make sure that you read the title, and if you want to look at those. I've never posted it on YouTube because it is of a male appendage, and YouTube frowns upon that. Even though it's just art, it's in a flaccid state. Yeah. And you'll also notice on Instagram, that will be, I believe, on the After Dark side. I have 2 Instagram pages. One of them I was locked out of ages ago, so I haven't been able to do anything with it. If you comment on the adult one, I'm not going to see the comment because I don't have access to the comments. Because, again, they locked me out. I can still see the site. I just can't do anything with it. And I think that has to do with the fact that it's adult content. Rather than just pull the pictures, which they had done in the past, you'll see like little landing pages on each one. It'll tell you the title, and it has a little arrow, and you just swipe it over, and that will take you to the actual picture. Because on Instagram, whenever I would post anything that was even remotely adult, because they were male nudes, I would get dinged and they would pull them off. So their robotic scan evidently only scans the first picture when you post it. So I put all of the actual art as the second picture so you can actually get a chance to see it. I learned that by looking at other art sites that kept getting censored, and I noticed that some people were doing it this way. So I started doing it this way and never had anything pulled after that. Personally, I don't think they should be pulled anyway because they're not graphic. I mean, they're just the body. There's nothing wrong with the human body. You get to see female nudes all the time, and it's just not a big deal. But man, you show a male nude, it seems like the whole world comes down on you. Okay, get that like that. And this is what it's looking like so far. There's that, and there's that. And it's not quite proportionate. I've got some stuff up here. I could probably make this a little wider, just with the shadowing, to get things to look a little bit better. And again, this is a very quick little sketch. I'm not putting a lot of effort into trying to make it look super real. It's more like I want you to know that it is a mushroom. And it is the mushroom that is in the photo that I'm basing it on. Okay, like that. This is darker up here. It's a little wider. Come on down, and we got some light spots here. A little darker spot down here. On the other side, this is all light on the edge. So, since it's light on the edge, we're gonna test this out real quick. I'm just cleaning my eraser. If you use a dirty eraser when you're trying to do some light modifications, it just smears. I don't want to make it darker. I want to make it actually lighter. So I want to give that highlight that shows on this side of the mushroom. I think to do that, I'm going to have to do some background because I do want the mushroom edge to show. But I want it all to, like I said, look somewhat real. Okay. That's a little dark there. Blend that in. Blend that in. Get it blended down here. Give it a little this. I'm going to get rid of that. And the mushroom cap itself. You notice how dark this goes on now. That is because I have smeared the page with the tortillon. And in doing so, it's roughed up the paper a bit, which catches more carbon from the pencil and makes it darker, as you can see. Now let's move to a smaller one. I'll use this one. That darkened. Blended. Oftentimes when you are basing something on a sketch, you can't do the exact shading that is in the sketch or it'll look unrealistic. Much like this is not a shaded edge in the sketch, but if I didn't shade it, it would look as if I just forgot about it. And you'll notice that in this area, it's much darker as it goes to the rim. I need to be a little bit more stuff on there. Just going to do this, get something in there. These little curls are going to disappear because I'm going to rub them out. This is just to get the carbon to the page. Okay. There's like a thing that goes up like that. Dark wise. Much like that. And yeah. This needs a tight little rim too. Okay, there. Bring it like that. Now, do you see how the tortillon has, it's like lightened everything up. It's darkened it, but it's gotten rid of the harsh dark lines. That would show it's just a pencil drawing. Now, if you'll notice, if you look at the Instagram page, the portraits I did of like Billie Holiday, and especially the one of Nina Simone, I think Nina Simone's looks pretty much like a photograph because I've used the tortillons and blended everything so much. Bear with me if we have quiet times because I can't talk continuously. I mean, I probably could, but my voice would go out again. You can tell it's dropping a little bit since we just started this video. And all of that has something to do with the fact that I had thyroid surgery in 2019, where it was suspected that I had thyroid cancer because of the swelling. It just kept swelling up, and they couldn't find anything in biopsies. So they went in for exploratory surgery, and they were going to take the whole thing out if it was cancerous. As it turned out, it was not cancer. It was just an extra large cyst or tumor. It was benign, meaning non-cancerous. So they took that half out and they left the rest in. So I don't have to take meds or anything for metabolism. But my voice has never been the same. And when I went back and talked to the doctor about that, the specialist, she said that they did have to stretch and scrape the vocal cords because my thyroid was just totally wrapped around them. And I guess that's common. And after like 4 months, I requested to go to a speech therapist. And because of insurance, of course, to get it covered, I had to have the doctor come up with a reason. And I couldn't raise my voice, I couldn't talk loud, and it was given that it was a hazard to me not to be able to yell or scream, let's say if I was to have an accident, and that the doctor had to advise the insurance company that I needed speech therapy in order to, live safely for the rest of my life. So I got that, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, I went in, and I had one visit, and I was given some exercises and told that I could probably improve my voice, but probably not get back to where I was before. But it would require several visits. And I said, okay, let's schedule those. And then she said, well, they're, I don't know, $450 for 20 minutes or something to talk to this lady. And I said, well, it's covered by insurance. She said, no, your insurance denied it. We're only allowed to charge them for this first visit. And I went back and forth with the insurance agent about that, or agency. And as it turns out, I didn't get to go back. And I couldn't afford $450 for 20 minutes to talk to a speech therapist. And over time, my voice has come back a bit, but anyone who's watched my videos knows that my voice will drop out when it gets just a little bit fatigued. It'll just go way down and get scratchy. And so my singing career, what I had of one, no, I wasn't making money singing, but I did sing a lot. And at times I thought I was really good, and others thought I was okay. And I was a karaoke junkie for years. But after that, all of that kind of went out the window because it's hard for me to even get through a 2-minute song, yet alone a 3 or 4 minute song, without my voice changing. And that sucks. And why? Again, I don't know what they did during surgery that would have affected it so much. I would think it would have healed by now, but it didn't. And now this is the voice that I am stuck with. In the previous video, I mentioned learning opportunities, and that's what I'm calling this, as a learning opportunity. Because I don't have the voice now, so I have to turn to other things. I started whistling, and that got a lot better. I get comments on that. In the past, it used to be, God, would you quit whistling? I'll be at a gym or a grocery store or something. And now people will come up, because half the time I don't even realize I'm whistling. People will come up to me and go, oh my God, you whistle really well. Or I hate it when people whistle, but I like your whistling. It sounds like music. And it's like, oh, that's sweet, isn't it? Oh, that's wonderful. Let's make this darker. Seems to be a dark spot right here. What's that about? Down like this. Oh, and by the way, tortillons, these paper things, can be purchased at any art supply place. I get them from Amazon because they're about a third of the price as you'll pay in a store. Have I gone off the page? I can't see the focus of my camera, so I have to keep moving this around when I move it because I don't want to mess things up. Okay, we're going to do this. Now we're going to get ready to go back and put all those little specks that look like a sugar coating on this mushroom. Are we going to do this one down here? Should we? Yeah, let's go ahead and put this bumped because it looks like a jelly bean right now. Like that. And it goes around. Oh, let's get rid of that. Again, once you rub it, like I rub this area, it's hard to erase it without ruining the paper. So we'll just have to make that a shaded area. And this mushroom went down. This one actually looks more like not a jelly bean so much, but maybe a little brain. Now, I hope that this whole video isn't boring you guys so much. What you can do, I guess, is just speed it, fast forward to the end so you can see what the end result's like. I know if it's an extra long video I'm watching, oftentimes I'll do that. And if I like the outcome, or if I feel like I need to know more information, then I'll go back and watch the parts that I skipped over. The thing is, I have become jaded by watching little clips online where they'll show 5-minute crafts is terrible for this, because their crafts, you think, oh, well, first of all, it's not 5 minutes what they do, and they're spending an enormous amount of money on the things that they do. And then it's just useless piece of garbage when they get done with it, like cutting up a toilet seat and putting fake fur on it and putting moss and plants all over your toilet, and the seed is covered in flowers, and they've gone to a nursery and bought flowers to put on the toilet seat. So the toilet is pretty much not usable as a toilet. The same with sinks and everything else. They really, thousands and thousands of complaints about how crappy their stuff is. And I know it's intentional, because every time you get an interaction on YouTube with your video or Instagram or Facebook, it raises you higher in their algorithm rank, which causes more eyes to get it on there and more viewers, and that just makes advertisers more money. And that 5-minute crafts channel, everybody knows what it is, because you're bombarded with the crap all the time. And they'll put something up, and 2 days later there's 1 million views and 400,000 comments about how horrible it is. Or complaining, it's like, this isn't a 5-minute craft, this would have taken 27 hours. Well, the people doing it don't care. They're making money on this. So I know how a lot of those craft things turn out as just crap. And hence, that's what taught me to just jump to the end and see what's going on. And see if it was a worthwhile project, or if it's just another bait and switch to get you to watch their damn video. Oh, I said damn. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's give this little mushroom baby. It's had some lines in it, doesn't it? Am I still off screen again? Oh, I guess I am. It would be great if this little mountain would let me see what's actually on the camera. Okay, now you're back in sight. And this little baby is not going to look remotely realistic. It's going to look like a rock, I think. Just a bad rock at that. Just going to get rid of that. Take my little highlight here. It's more of a highlight up here. All the way down like that. Get rid of the edge. And okay. Blah, blah, blah. I think we're going to just leave this one for now. Go back up and do some work on this Baba, or baby. Baba. That's a nice word, isn't it? Baba. I don't know where it comes from. It just came to mind. Okay, we had some lighting over here. Some soft-spoken stuff. And this was the shadow of the mushroom head and the light caused a straight ridge there. Like that. Which then kind of balanced out into here and faded. But that brightness has to come all the way down to here, and it wraps around the edge like that. Much like that. The dark spot, dark spot, very dark spot, all the way this. This darkness went here up to this ridge, and the ridge is even darker. See, it's been rubbed so much that it's not actually allowing me to rub it in anymore. Probably been pressing too hard. That's why we got that ridge there I didn't really want. Let's see if we can get rid of that. There we go. And now let's give it this popcorn crap. Let's see. We just started putting little bumps, and the darkness of each bump is on the bottom of the bump. So we'll do something like that. I'm not following the exact placement that's on the actual picture this is based on. Instead, I'm just going to do it by sight. Again, they're just all over the place, like sprinkled sugar on a crumb cake, a coffee cake. I have never seen a shiitake mushroom that looks like this with these things on it, because these look more like spores or something. And the way they're on the actual picture, they're also floating on the air over here. That's what made me think they were spores. But when spores are released from a mushroom, they come from the thin area. They don't come from the surface of the cap. That's kind of crazy. But when you have a photo generated by AI, who knows what it's based on? And the reason I did it this way is because I don't want to use someone's photograph and not give them credit. And most of the pictures you find online, they're posted and you have no idea who posted them, or you'll see who posted them, but you know who actually took the picture, because a lot of the sites that they're linked to are just pictures people have collected from the internet. And I don't want to step on anyone's copyright. I know, people say AI is a copyright violation because it's trained on art where the artist didn't give permission to use it. And that's quite possible too. But how many pictures of mushrooms have people taken in the world and put online that AI trains on? I don't know. I guess I don't understand, since so much that's put online, you don't know who did it. If AI is training on it, how can AI give credit to someone if they don't know who did it? Which is what I was saying just now, is that I can't give credit to someone if I don't know who took the photo or the picture. So instead, I will just use the generated stuff, because then I know it's not an exact replica of someone's real art. It might be based on their style, but it's not something that I'm stealing an image of theirs that they created. AI, I wouldn't say is stealing, but again, it is based on images that it finds. And it, as far as I know, does not get permission, but it's not taking that person's art. It's taking that person's, it's learning from that person's style. And if you ever take an art class, which I haven't taken one since the 7th grade, and it was pretty much just primary colors. It wasn't anything in depth. But I know people that take art classes, and how it works is everyone gets a canvas and some colors, and the instructor puts a picture, let's say like this, up that they pull off the web. It's usually some famous artist, or an artist at least has a bunch of paintings on their website, and they'll put it up in front of the class, and for the next hour that class will try to replicate that. So what they're doing is they are learning to paint. The instructor comes around and might give them tips on paintbrush style, or how to hold your brush, or how to mix colors, whatever. And what they're doing though is they're learning based on the style of that artist who created that original painting that's in front of the class. So that's how I see AI, is that it's not taking the actual art, but it is learning from the style of that artist. Now, the only thing I think that they would learn from an actual photograph might be lighting or depth perception. And unless the subject of the photograph is styled a certain way by the artist, or something that's created by the artist, I don't think taking a picture of a bridge, the picture itself might be copyrightable, but the bridge, it's kind of in the public, so I don't know how you can claim that. Okay. This mushroom has ridges around here, which I don't know why it would have ridges, but and then have these specks all over it, but it does. The specks are going to come right down to the ridges. So once I get the ridges in, I will go ahead and bring some more of the crumbs down. I don't know why this just came to mind, but have you all heard that David Lynch died like a day or two ago? I think he was 78. He is the guy who did Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, as well as some other things that aren't as popular. He was in the, when they revisited Twin Peaks, like 20 years after the original, 25 years. So it was in 2019 or 2020? It was on, and I found it to be really boring, and some of the old actors just didn't, the ones that were still alive that were in the show, they just didn't seem to pull their weight like they did before. They were almost like caricatures of themselves, and I didn't care for it. And David Lynch was in it too. He played the FBI guy who was pretty much deaf and repeated everything and yelled a lot. So he was also an actor in his own movie. And he's gone. So I thought I'd share that, because if I didn't talk, I would have to bring in some music to do this by, and it would have to be AI generated because I don't want to get a copyright strike. And although I think sometimes that is great, I've had some people who have commented, they've sent me messages stating that they don't like to hear music when I'm talking. Even though it's low, they don't like to hear it because it's distracting or it doesn't let them focus on what I'm saying. Hence, you guys are just going to have to bear with me. I'm going to go back and watch this before I post it. And if it is super long, you might not hear me talk some because I might fast forward it. And in those areas, I would add some backup music because I wouldn't be speaking. But that's not my intention right now. It's all about getting this done here. A little bit of shading. This is a little bit dark, like so. Each one of these has to be faded a little bit. I'm trying very hard not to rub my hand on the photo itself. They make a little sketch glove, which is this white cotton glove that you wear on your hand. I've got 2 or 3 of them from a job I used to have. When the company closed our studio, I had to go through and clear everything out and throw stuff away. And a lot of the artists, pretty much everyone who did any type of illustration, they all had the white gloves at their workstations, and they just left them behind. So I got 2 or 3 pairs and washed them. I find that they also smear your artwork. Not as much as a bare hand, because your bare hand, if you get warm at all or moist, it will smear your work. But I don't really use the glove much. It just gets dirty, and once you smear the glove, it's just like smearing your hand. It all gets all smeared on your white paper. Okay, so we're doing this. And those little fins need to have a little bit more detail, you know? Gonna come down here like so. And I've looked at fins on a mushroom, and they don't really look like this. These are kind of coming out at a weird angle, like they're swooping up. And, you know, maybe in this mushroom's world, that's how things are. But that's not how they are in the real world. Well, they're not like that in my world. My voice does change because it's real to me. Okay, a little bit more darkness here. Let's bring that darkness spotty here and here. Like so. You let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah, I know, I'll watch the movie eventually. Just seems like such a kid thing. There are no little kids in the house, so I have no reason to watch that stuff. You know, the pop stars like Ariana Grande? I would have had no idea that she was a Disney star because there aren't any kids in the family, you know? I haven't had a niece or nephew around in ages that would watch that kind of stuff. That would be of that age. And evidently, quite a few Disney stars went on to be pop singers. Or went on to Nickelodeon or something like that. But, you know, Nickelodeon was a cable channel that in the 80s when cable was new, we're in my region, we didn't have Nickelodeon. That was one of those pay stations, much like Disney, that, you know, why would my parents pay for that? They wouldn't. So I didn't know who any of these people were until I was well into college, and it's like people would talk about them. And it's like, who? Who? Nick and Cody, you know. Or Zach and Cody, or something like that. It's like, yeah, no, I don't know who those people are.
Man with a pencil in his hand, fungi sprout across the land. On paper sheets they come alive, shading colors they survive. Sidewalk canvas, chalk in tow, everywhere he goes they grow. Caps and stems in varied hues, mushroom gardens beneath his shoes. He's drawing mushrooms in his head, in vivid colors, blues and reds. His whimsical world of magic spread, sketching spore dreams where he's led. In a park beneath the trees, pockets full of chalky keys, crayon visions floating free, mushroom kingdoms we can see. Neighbors watch the art unfold, rainbow fungi tales retold. On the pavement they all smile, lost in mushroom dreams a while. He's drawing mushrooms